Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Let us begin with our Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. तथैव चान्ये नरलोकवीराय आहवे कृष्णमुखारविन्दम् नेत्रैः पिबन्तो नयनाभिरामं पार्थास्त्रपूत पदमापुरस्य अहो बकीयं स्तनकालकूटं जिघांसयापाय यदप्यसाध्वी लेभे गतिं धात्र्युचितां ततोऽन्यं कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम अशेषसङ्क्लेशशमं विधत्ते गुणानुवाद श्रवणं मुरारे किं वा पुनस्तच्चरणारविन्द परागसेवारतिरात्मलब्धा सोऽहं नृणां क्षुल्यसुखाय दुःखं महद्गतानां विरमाय तस्य प्रवर्तये भागवतं पुराणं यदाह साक्षात् भगवान् ऋषिभ्यः त्वं भक्तियोगपरिभावितरित्सरोज आस्ये श्रुते क्षितपथो ननु नाथ पुंसाम् यद्यद्धियातौरुगाय विभावयन्ति तत्तद्वपु प्रणयसे सदनुग्रहाय सोऽसावदभ्रकरुणो भगवान् विवृद्ध प्रेम स्मितेन नयनाम्बुरुहं विजृम्भन् उत्थाय विश्वविजयाय चोनो विषादम् माद्यागिरापनयतात् पुरुषः पुराणः ससर्जाग्र्यन्धतामिश्रं मथत्तामिश्रमाधिकृत् महामोहं च मोहं च तमश्चाज्ञानवृत्तयः हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Before we begin our study of Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam, I would like to extend my sincere, heartfelt gratitude to all of you for being with me, tolerating me for last more than 2 years, almost 2.5 years. You have put your faith in me and you're joining the Bhakti Vaibhava classes. I think we started after Gaur Purnima in 2022. So it's been 2.5 years. And I'm very grateful to all of you for investing your faith in a fallen soul, conditioned soul like myself. Thank you. Because of all of you, I'm able to have the motivation to read Srimad Bhagavatam every week. It's because of all of you. Also, I want to express my gratitude specially to 4 devotees. First and foremost, His Grace Ajay Govind Prabhu. Ajay Govind Prabhu has been supporting and helping me. He puts out all the notifications very sincerely, doesn't have to do it. but voluntarily he is extending himself, even though he has so many things going on, so many duties, so many responsibilities, so much to do, but still he spares his very valuable time for some insignificant person like me. Thank you. And I want to express my gratitude to Mukta Sangha Prabhu, His Grace Mukta Sangha Prabhu, because Mukta Sangha Prabhu also is managing the website, uploads all the documents, and is always there to help also. Whenever I misspeak something, I call him, Prabhuji, please edit the video. And he does everything. I want to express my gratitude also to His Grace Sarvapalak Ram Prabhu from UAE, because he um, makes the what do you call it, the photo for all the lectures, and he edits them also. Whenever I misspeak something and something has to be edited out, Sarvapalak Ram Prabhu does that. Mainly he does it, and also Mukta Sangha Prabhu. So they edit and they also make the thumbnails. It is called thumbnails. They make the thumbnails for the videos. And also I want to express my gratitude to Sharanagat Mataji, Her Grace Sharanagat Mataji, because she helps many of the Matajis to upload their shloka recitation videos. She clubs them and then sends them across to me. She's very good with video editing also. So my gratitude, I don't know if Sarvapalak Ram Prabhu is not there usually because it's very early morning for him. But Sharanagat Mataji is not there today, but she also helps me a lot. So I wanted to express gratitude to all of you and especially to these four devotees. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So we are continuing reading from the third canto, 14th chapter. If I remember correctly, this is the last chapter for this module after this exams. So please start working on your open book. Start working on your shloka. You can start sending me the shloka recitation. There are not many shlokas this time. And this chapter has very beautiful purports, very instructive purports. So many of the purports I'm going to read completely. There are 51 verses. So today is Thursday. Maybe next Thursday, this chapter will definitely be completed. So then the week after that, we can have the exams. So let me know if that's okay. So let's begin from verse number 19. Ajay Prabhu, verse number 19. Okay. So Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam 3.14.19. This is a very important prasanga from Srimad Bhagavatam because we are seeing the background of how Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, Kumbhakarna, and Shishupal Dantavakra came to the material world from Vaikuntha. How did they fall down from Vaikuntha? So that we are going to see. And of course, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Krishna comes himself. So these powerful demons will appear in this world, which also means to destroy them, Krishna will come. That's why this is very important. So text number 19. Yamahuratmano hi ardham shreyas kamasya manini yasyam swadhuram adhyasya Pumamscharati Vijvaraha. All of us are grihasthas. I don't think there are any brahmacharis in this group. So all of us are grihasthas, and in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada gives many practical teachings and guidance for all of us. So this is a very important section for us. Shri Kashyap Muni is speaking these verses to his wife, Diti. Diti wants a child, and Kashyap Muni is engaged in performing yajna. The time is not auspicious, but she's insisting. So Kashyap Muni is pacifying her with sweet words and speaking to her. Translation and purports by our beloved founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Kashyap Muni is telling his wife, "O respectful one, a wife is so helpful that she is called the better half of a man's body because of her sharing in all the auspicious activities. A man can move without anxiety and trusting all responsibilities to his wife." So we have the common saying that a wife is the better half. A wife is the half body of a man, Ardhangini, and she's a better half. So the reference for that, the source for that is this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam 3.14.19, where Kashyap Muni, who is a Prajapati, he's an authority, very great personality, Prajapati, Shri Kashyap Muni. He's saying that a wife is so helpful that she is the better half of a man's body. Shreyas kamasya manini atmanohi ardham shreyas. That a wife, Yamahu, a wife is called Atmanaha hi ardham shreya. Shreya means better, and ardha means half. She is the better half of the body. Atmana means of the body. She's the better half. Purport. By the Vedic injunction, the wife is accepted as the better half of a man's body. So Srila Prabhupada is also agreeing that the wife is to be called the better half of the husband. Srila Prabhupada writes, by the Vedic injunction, the wife is accepted as the better half of a man's body because the wife is supposed to be responsible for discharging half of the duties of the husband. So if the husband is doing puja, the wife prepares all the paraphernalia. She prepares the garland, the chandan, washes the vessels, brings water. So this is in the Vedic time. The wives would help the husband in every way. So they would do half the work and the husband would do half the work. It's a teamwork. Further down in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, when a man becomes qualitatively like cats and dogs, he forgets his duties in cultivating spiritual values. And thus, he accepts his wife as a sense gratificatory agency. When a man is not cultured enough, the man forgets the spiritual duties and responsibilities and thinks that wife is only meant for sense gratification. That is animalistic life, like cats and dogs, Prabhupada says. When the wife is accepted as a sense gratificatory agency, personal beauty is the main consideration. And as soon as there is a break in personal sense gratification, there is disruption or divorce. In medical school, we are taught how to test for impotence in a male who is incapable of having sexual intercourse. It is important for a doctor to be able to judge that because according to the Indian Penal Code, whatever the Indian judicial system, according to the Indian law, impotence is a valid ground for divorce. So woman can simply say, my husband is impotent, I want divorce, and no question will be asked. If a doctor certifies this male is impotent, the wife is free to divorce him. Sexual intercourse is such an important thing, according to the law in Kali Yuga, that if a male becomes impotent, the wife can leave him and find another man so she can continue to have sex. I'm telling you the truth. Impotence in a male in Indian law is a valid ground for divorce. And Prabhupada is saying exactly that. When a human being becomes like an animal, cat and dog, then he accepts the wife as a sense gratificatory agency. And the wife accepts the husband as a sense gratificatory object. So then any disruption in the personal sense gratification, there is divorce. But when husband and wife aim at spiritual advancement by mutual cooperation, together both of us will advance in spiritual life. Then there is no consideration of personal beauty, and there is no disruption of so-called love. Otherwise, everything is about beauty and attractiveness when the marriage is based on material consideration. But when the marriage is based on spiritual consideration, one may not be very attractive. But if one is a good devotee, then why not get married? In the material world, there is no question of love. These are Srila Prabhupada's statements, my dear friends. We say love marriage, love story. No. Love at first sight. No. In the material world, there is no question of love. Because love can only exist between the Jiva and Krishna. Because Jivera Swarup hoy Krishna and Nityadas. Tesham sadate uktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Krishna prema pumarto mahan. Aradhya Bhagwan Vrajesha Tanayas. Therefore, Vrajesha Tanayas prema pumarto mahan. The puma artha, the supreme artha for a human being is prem. Krishna prem, not Jiva prem. Nowhere in the scripture it is said that wife prem is the highest, or husband prem is the highest, or parent prem is the highest, or child prem is the pumarto mahan. It is the pancham purushartha. Nowhere it is said. Because prem is meant for Krishna. We are bound in love with Krishna. Because in every life, we have had a different husband and a different wife. All of us. Now we are married to somebody, which is, we have to fulfill those responsibilities. But in the previous life, we may have a different spouse. We had different spouse. What about those wives and husbands? And the life before that? And the life before that? How many husbands and wives and parents and children we all have had? Now we forgot about them conveniently. We don't have anything to do with them. We don't try to seek out, in my previous life, I want to find out who I was so I can meet my family, and the lifetime before that, and 20 lifetimes before that. Nobody cares. Do we ever care how our children are doing from previous birth, previous lifetime? No, we are so short-sighted, so narrow. Our intelligence is so narrow that we have no idea. Our real relationship is with Krishna and only Krishna. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada established International Society for Krishna Consciousness to awaken people to this truth that Suridam Sarva Bhutanam, your best friend is Krishna, not the boy in class or not the girl in your class who you call my best friend, put photos on Instagram and Facebook. There is no question of love in this world, Prabhupada says. In the material world, there is no question of love. There can be affection. There can be some friendship based on material consideration, but there is no real love. And even if we feel there is love, we will never get proper reciprocation. We will be disappointed by whoever we love in this world. Because, as Prabhupada writes here, in the material world, there is no question of love. Real love is with Krishna, and Krishna loves all of us. Therefore, he's telling us how we can get to him. Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam eva shasi. Krishna is telling us, come to me. Only a person who loves us will say, no, come to me, come back to me, come back to me. So Krishna is calling us. Krishna loves us. But Krishna's love is one-sided. Can you believe that? The Supreme Personality of Godhead is in a one-sided love relationship with us. He loves us, but we don't love him back. We are too trapped in the issues of this world. Srila Prabhupada established ISKCON so that we awaken to this consciousness that, oh, Krishna is my best friend. Krishna is the true love of my life. Radha Krishna Seva Pao, Ei Abhilashi. We wake up to that consciousness. That is Krishna consciousness. In the material world, Prabhupada says there is no question of love. This we must understand. Because we can hear thousands of classes, we can chant thousands of rounds, my dear friends. But until and unless we are convinced, in the material world, there is no question of love. And only love can make us happy. We are all prem bhikari. We are all looking for love. Only love can make us happy. And there is no love in this material world. There is only affection, there is only lust. Our problem is, we may say, no doing this, no doing that, trinadapi sunichena, tararapi saishna, very easy to say. But we feel that in pratishtha, in respect, in honor, there is happiness. When someone says, Prabhuji, nice class, feels good. When someone says, pathetic class, you wasted 1 hour of my life, I'm never going to hear your class again. What? Feels bad. Because we are convinced that in appreciation, in glorification, there is happiness. In popularity, there is happiness. 40 people have joined. Yes. We feel that in Kanaka Kamini Kirti, there is happiness. We may say, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication, no this, no that. Humility, tolerance, amanina, manadena. So easy to say that. So easy to memorize it. Yet, we feel so happy when we are glorified. And we feel so sad when we are criticized. Because, analyze it. Close your eyes. Analyze this. Because we believe that in glorification there is happiness. We believe that in popularity there is happiness. Why we want a good-looking partner? We believe that in sexual enjoyment there is happiness. Why do we run after money? Why do we spend so much time investing our money where we will get maximum returns, this, that? Because we believe that if I get money, I will be happy in this world. So we may say, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, but we believe that there is happiness in dhanam, there is happiness in janam, and there is happiness in sundarim. That is why we are trapped. That's why this is the age of hypocrisy. We say something, we believe something else. And the thing is, Krishna is in the heart. He knows exactly what we believe. He knows exactly what we think. He knows exactly what we value in life. We cannot cheat Krishna. We can cheat the whole world. We cannot cheat Krishna. And unless and until, like Chitraketu Maharaj, we lose all hope of happiness in this world. Unless and until, like Parikshit Maharaj, we lose all hope of happiness in this world, we will not get Krishna. This is what is holding us back. That we feel there is happiness in this world. We believe there is happiness in this world. We say Dukkhalayam Shashvatam, but deep down we feel, but Krishna will keep me comfortable in this house, in this world. I will be the exception who lived happily. I will do this, then I will do this, then I will retire, then I will have a nice house, I will have nice family life, I will have nice food, I'll take care of my health, I'll do my annual checkups, I will never get heart attack, I will never get stroke, I will not get cancer, I will become old, and in my sleep I will die one day. When all my desires are fulfilled on my 100th birthday. And then there will be nice memorial, and so many devotees will make offerings, and everything will be fine. My children will be happy, my grandchildren will be happy. Somewhere we have this hope. Vishaya chhadiya kabe shuddha habe man. Kabhayama Haribo Shri Vrindavan. We have to give up the hope that in this world there is any love, and therefore in this world there is any happiness. You have to give up that hope. Otherwise, this whole world, if you analyze, they are simply looking for some pleasure. College students, school students, they are looking for happiness by having the best date, having the best boyfriend or girlfriend, and putting pictures on social media. See, I'm so happy I've got such a beautiful girl, such a handsome boy with me, with whom I'm enjoying my life. Or someone will seek happiness in making a lot of money. One person was saying, I am into real estate. I never even completed my college. My net worth is 100 million. Was telling me, you're working full-time job as a doctor. What have you got? So I don't even have a college degree. I just went into real estate business and my net worth is 100 million. So much money. And I was thinking, can you give me a couple of millions for building a temple in coming? So people sometimes think that if I get money, I will become happy. They go after money. Some people go and they get their so-called rasa by wildlife photography or base jumping, extreme sports. They feel that will give me a kick, that will give me adrenaline rush, that will make me happy. Everybody, the sports stars, the politicians, they were seeking power. Businessmen, entrepreneurs are seeking money. Sportsmen are seeking money and power. Everyone somehow or the other is in the search of happiness in this world. As Bhakti Vaibhava students on the path of Bhakti, we have to understand the Vaibhava of Bhakti, that only Bhakti can make us happy. Nothing in this world will make me happy. This thing we have to be deeply convinced. Only then we will be able to run on the path of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we are just slowly trudging along with these shackles. What is the shackle? That there is happiness in this world. We are not able to let go. We are not able to jump at Krishna's lotus feet. So Prabhupada is saying that marriage is actually a duty performed in mutual cooperation as directed in the authoritative scriptures for spiritual advancement. My dear friends, I want to focus on these two sentences. It's very incredibly important what Srila Prabhupada is saying here. Srila Prabhupada is saying, please listen carefully. In the material world, there is no question of love. Marriage is actually a duty performed in mutual cooperation as directed by authoritative scriptures for spiritual advancement. What is marriage? It is not love. Marriage, Prabhupada says, is a duty performed in mutual cooperation. That I will help you in your Krishna consciousness, you help me in my Krishna consciousness. Mutual cooperation as directed in the authoritative scriptures. It's based on the Vedic scriptures under the direction of Guru Sadhu Shastra. You cooperate. That is marriage. For what? For spiritual advancement. Tell me, my dear friends, if you statistically look cross section of society, all the marriages that are taking place in this world, how many marriages, including devotee marriages, how many marriages are taking place on this principle? In this material world, there is no question of love. Marriage is actually a duty. It's a duty performed in mutual cooperation as directed in the authoritative scriptures for spiritual advancement. Husband respects the wife as the better half. Husband respects the wife as half my body. How we protect our body, I will protect my wife. And the wife says, at least 50% my contribution should be there in Krishna consciousness to my husband. I will not make him work like a donkey. मेरे को घर लेके दो, मेरे को गाड़ी लेके दो, मेरे को ये लेके दो, मेरे को वो लेके दो. No, I will let my husband pursue spiritual path. I will assist him in puja. I will assist him in his bhajan. And the husband says, I will give all opportunity for my wife. I will all give all opportunity to my wife for spiritual advancement. This is marriage. For the sake of spiritual advancement, Prabhupada is saying. Let's think how many marriages are taking place with this understanding. Prabhupada says, therefore, marriages are essential. This type of marriages are essential in order to avoid the life of cats and dogs. Text 20. Yam ashriten driyaratin durjayan itarashramai vayam jayema helabhir dasyun durga patiryatha. Durga means a fort. Durgapati means the commander of the fort. Translation. As a fort commander very easily conquers invading plunderers. By taking shelter of a wife, one can conquer the senses, which are unconquerable in the other social orders, which means in Brahmacharya, Vanapra, Sannyas, the senses are unconquerable because there is no help. Think of Vishwamitra Muni, how many times he fell, although he was so austere. But a person who is married then and the wife is cooperative, then the wife becomes the Durgapati. She becomes the commander of the fort. Marriage is like a protective fort. Marriage is like a protective fort. The wife is the commander, Durgapati. And she protects and helps us conquer the invading plunderers. The invading plunderers are the enemies. What are these enemies? Our senses. Why did Sri Bilomangal Thakur gouge out his eyes? Because he understood this is my enemy. My senses are uncontrolled senses. Adanta Gobhir, Vishatanta Mishram. These senses are giving me promise of heavenly delights, but they are taking me to the Mishra. They are taking me to hell. So the senses are the plunderers, enemies, and it is the wife who protects from the onslaught of the senses. A good wife. She protects. She's always there. So Kashyapun is glorifying the position of a wife. Now please listen carefully how Grihastha ashram compares to the other ashrams. Srila Prabhupada writes, I'm going to read quite a few sections of this purport. For the four orders of human society, the student or brahmachari, the householder or grihastha, the retired or vanaprastha, and the renounced sannyasi. The householder out of these four ashrams, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas, Prabhupada says the householder is on the safe side. Does it make us feel good? Radha Gopinath Prabhu, your householder? Brahmachari? Good. Householder is on the safe side. The bodily senses are considered plunderers of the fort of the body. If this body is Durga, this body is a fort, then the plunderers are the senses. The wife is supposed to be the commander of the fort. And therefore, whenever there is an attack on the body by the senses, it is the wife who protects. The sex demand is inevitable for everyone. But one who has a fixed wife is saved from the onslaught of the sense enemies. A man who possesses a good wife does not create a disturbance in society by corrupting virgin girls. Without a fixed wife, a man becomes a debauchee and is a nuisance in society. Unless there's an exception, unless he is a trained brahmachari, a trained vanaprastha, or a trained sannyasi. So if someone is a devotee, as a brahmachari, as a vanaprastha or sannyasi, and someone is under the guidance of a guru, then there is no problem. Srila Prabhupada is saying, nowadays you see in the student life, all these college boys and girls, when they are uncontrolled, they are untrained, then they can create a lot of nuisance in society. But a person who accepts a wife and decides that I have a fixed wife, now that's it, I'm not going to look at other girls, then that person is protected by the wife. Unless there is rigid and systematic training of the brahmachari by the expert spiritual master, and unless the student is obedient, it is sure that the so-called brahmachari will fall prey to the attack of sex. There are so many instances of fall down, even for great yogis like Vishwamitra Muni. Even Saubhari Muni fell down. Very important what Prabhupada is saying. Unless there is rigid and systematic training, rigid training means strict rules. Systematic training means training based on Shastra, training based on Srila Prabhupada's books. Unless there is rigid and systematic training of the brahmachari, by who? By the expert spiritual master. And unless the student is obedient, we can have rigid training, we can have nice systematic books, we can have a competent spiritual master, good God brothers, good God sisters. But if the student is disobedient, then it will not work. So rigid and systematic training by the competent spiritual master and a snigdha shishya, a docile, obedient disciple. Disciple means discipline. If the disciple is obedient and the spiritual master is competent, then the combination will work very well. A grahastha is saved, however, because of his faithful wife. Sex life is the cause of material bondage, and therefore sex life is prohibited in 3 ashrams and is allowed only in the grahastha ashram. Other 3 ashrams, there is brahmacharya, there is celibacy. Only in grahastha ashram it is allowed. Why? Prabhupada says the grahastha is responsible for producing first class progeny. They can become brahmacharis, vanaprastha, sannyasis later on. Text 21. Na vayam prabhavastam tvam anukartum griheshwari ap ayushava karsneya ye chanye gunagrit navaha. Shri Kashyap Muni is telling his wife, O queen of the home, we are not able to act like you, nor could we repay you for what you have done, even if we worked for our entire life or even after death. To repay you is not possible. O Griheshwari, to repay you is not possible. Even for those who are admirers of personal qualities. Even if someone is grateful, even if someone is sensitive, appreciative, still we cannot repay you for what you have done. Kashyap Muni is telling his wife, Diti. This is the perverted reflection. This verse is perverted reflection of Na parayeham nirvadya samyujam. Krishna tells the gopis that I cannot repay you. This is the perverted reflection of that, where a sexually agitated husband is glorifying his sexually agitated wife. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. So much glorification of a woman by her husband indicates that he is henpecked or is talking lightly in joke. You see, our Vedic culture is generally we should not praise on the face and we should not criticize on the back. Don't praise on the face and don't criticize on the back. If you want to praise, praise behind the back, so that the person who is being praised doesn't become proud. And if you want to criticize, give the negative feedback on the face. Don't do it on the back. But Kashyap Muni is glorifying his wife too much. Srila Prabhupada says this indicates that he's henpecked or he's just joking. His words are not serious. Kashyap Muni meant that householders living with wives enjoy the heavenly blessings of sense enjoyment and at the same time have no fear of going down to hell. Now listen carefully. The man in the renounced order of life has no wife and may be driven by sex desire to seek another woman or another's wife and thus go to hell. In other words, the so-called man of the renounced order who has left his house and wife goes to hell if he again desires sexual pleasure. I repeat, the so-called man of the renounced order of life who has left his house and wife goes to hell if he again desires sexual pleasure. Remember in Jaiva Dharma, we were reading the story of that Babaji who had taken Babaji Bhesh, but then again secretly at night he used to meet his wife from the previous ashram, and how Lahiri Mahasaya and all so they decided to keep a distance from him. It was bad association. Therefore, husbands as a class cannot repay their debt to their wives in this life or the next. Why? Because householders have the safety of their wife. If the desires get too much, then to have children, they can indulge in sexual enjoyment with their wife without going to hell. But if a brahmachari, a vanaprasthi, or a sannyasi indulges in the same activity because they don't have a wife with someone else's wife or some other woman, then they will certainly go to hell for that sin. Prabhupada says, in that way, the householders are on the safe side. Even if they engage themselves in repaying the woman throughout their whole lives, it is still not possible for this favor that they are doing. But still, Prabhupada says in the last sentence, such extraordinary praises by a husband for his wife are certainly in the mode of joking. Because it's only Krishna who we cannot repay. Okay, the wife is doing a favor to the husband, but that's because the husband is also maintaining her, caring for her, protecting her. So, in this material world, someone may do us a big favor, someone may even save one's life. We should not get so much enamored by that and glorify the person who did us a favor in the material realm that we forget Krishna. My point is this: if someone helps us materially, we should not get so fixated on glorifying and thanking that person who helped us materially that we forget to see Krishna's hand. Because that person was able to help us because of Krishna. That we should never forget. Krishna is Sarva Karana Karanam. So, if we give too much glorification to a mundane person, then we are forgetting Krishna. And we should see Krishna's hand in everything. Yomam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam chamai pashyati, tasyaham na pranashyami, sachamena pranashyati. Text 22. Athapi kamam etam te prajatyai karvanyalam yatha mam nati rochanti muhurtam pratipalaya. Even though it is not possible to repay you, I shall satisfy your sex desire immediately for the sake of begetting children. But you must wait for only a few seconds more so that others may not reproach me, others may not criticize me. In the purport, in the last sentence, Srila Prabhupada says, in spite of Kashyap Muni's being very eager for sex with his wife, he requested her to wait for a few seconds so that others might not reproach him. And he will explain his position as follows: why he wanted to wait for a few moments more before indulging in the act. And that we will continue to see on Tuesday. So, in this way, the conversation between Shri Kashyap Muni and Srimati Diti is going to continue. And we will continue our discussion next time. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes, Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this very, very wonderful class. Prabhuji, you were speaking about the reality of this material world. Thinking of the material world, that there is no happiness or love in this world. Try to get out of the shackle. And by thinking in this way, sometimes we become morose by living in this world. So then how to survive in this body, in this world, and still be motivated to do our sadhana and seva?
By developing the higher relationship, param drishtva nivartate. By developing the higher taste, if we cultivate our relationship with Krishna, our sambandha with Krishna, then it is possible. Otherwise, the allurements and attachments presented by Maya will get us, Mataji. Think of poor Bharat Maharaj. He sacrificed so much. He gave up his wife, gave up his children, gave up his kingdom, gave up all his money. He didn't even keep his 401k or his pension plan or what we call in India, Provident Fund. Nothing. He gave up everything, every penny, just left. He was homeless, living in the mountains. But that one attachment to deer got him. He didn't even get a human birth. Became a deer. And his father was a supreme personality of Godhead, Bhagwan Rishabdev Maharaj. The son of the Supreme Lord, who was initiated by his father, who was taught by his father, Dikshit and Shikshit by his father. That person ends up as a deer. Bhagavatam is saying this. Because of this thought that there is love in this world. This deer loves me, and I love this deer. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajantyante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunte sada tad bhava bhavita. We have to be convinced. Someone may do the greatest favor for us. We may be bankrupt and he bails us out. We are being attacked by somebody, or saves our life. Doctor doesn't charge us a penny and does a life-saving procedure on us. Someone performs CPR, saves our life. Yes, we are grateful. Thank you. We are grateful. We will try to reciprocate by serving that person. But deep in our heart, we know it is only Krishna who sent that person. It is only Krishna who gave ability to that person to help us. Paurusham Nrishu in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Balam Balavatam Chaham. Krishna is giving the strength. Krishna is giving the ability to that person to help us. It is Krishna who is helping. He is Sarva Karana Karanam. So in this world, exactly like Srila Prabhupada wrote, we have to develop the mentality of duty. Bhagavad Vasudha Mataji, if you read Bhagavad Gita, recurrently Krishna says this, isn't it? Do your work in this world like duty, without attachment. Isn't it? Again and again, Krishna is hammering chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter. Many years ago, 2015, 16, I used to follow Shripad Vaisheshika Maharaj's instruction, chapter a day. And I used to read one chapter of Bhagavad, just translations, one chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day for a few years. And one of my takeaways from Bhagavad Gita, reading every day, one chapter over and over and again, so many times, my take home was Really, Krishna is hammering this point so much that we have to be detached in this world. We have to work in this world as if it's a job, it's a duty. We do the duty diligently. We go to our workplace on time, we work competently, um, we do everything, but it's not our home. I don't get so attached to Piedmont Hospital that home sweet home when I go to Piedmont. No, it's a job. I go there, I show up on time, I do my duty, and I get out of there. When I'm leaving Piedmont, I'm not crying, oh, Piedmont, I'll miss you. No, my home is somewhere else. I feel that when I come to this house, Radhasham Sundar's house. This is home. Same mentality we have to develop with this world. That everything here belongs to Krishna, nothing belongs to me. I also belong to Krishna. Manasa deha geha jo kichu mor arpilu tu apade nanda kishore. Do you have any attachment in this world? Do you claim propriety? No. Maro bhi rakho bhi jo ichha tohar. Nityadasa prati tuva adhikar. It's all yours, Krishna. So that mentality that we are doing a job has to be cultivated. And just like we do our job seriously, we wear the proper clothes, we go in the right mood, we behave professionally. So we have to behave like a wife, we have to behave like a husband, behave like a mother. But we really have to. It may sound far-fetched, it may sound impossible, it may sound very theoretical at this point, but that's the goal. Otherwise, how are we going to Antakale Shamame Smaran Muktva Kalevaram? How will happen? It will happen. We'll be thinking of this. If Bharat Maharaj failed, it's very likely we will also fail. That story is there in Srimad Bhagavatam for a reason. Shri Shukdev Goswami chose, he only had 7 days. He chose from all the Vedic literature the most essential stories. And practically the whole canto, fifth canto, is about this, the 3 lives of Bharat. It's a very, very crucial story where the Supreme Lord's son fails and becomes an animal. How will we feel if we are told, in your next life, you're going to become an animal? What? All this Gopi Chandan I have been putting on my forehead, this Tulsi Mala I have been wearing. No, no, no. I'm waiting for the Vaikuntha airplane. Bharat Maharaj was the son of the Supreme Lord. Haribol Bharat Prabhu, who is your Guru? Bhagwan Rishabdev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How many of us have 3 chapters dedicated? Not 3 chapters. Jada Bharat explanation to Maharaj Rahuganar, 3 chapters in the 5th canto. How many of us have practically a whole canto dedicated to us? None of us. We are studying. Bharat Maharaj has an entire canto dedicated. That means Parishit Maharaj practically heard him for an entire day or a major part of the day. Katha was going on day and night. So this is a very, very important, powerful story in Srimad Bhagavatam. And we have to follow Bhagavad Gita where Krishna repeatedly says, do without attachment, do your duty without attachment, live in this world without attachment. So it may be difficult, but if we want Krishna, then we have to. And Mataji, also, even in devotee relationships, if we don't have this understanding, then I have seen many devotee relationships are affected. See, what happens is we have this idea that this is a devotee friend, he will never betray my trust. But that devotee is a human being. That devotee is still under the purview of Maya. He's not a Jivan Mukta Mahabhagavat. He's a Baddha Jiv. Sadhak. He's trying, but he's not Siddha, he's Sadhak. But we hold devotees to very high standard. If we see them lying, if we see duplicity in their behavior, immediately we break relationship. Oh, nonsense. 20 saal se he's a devotee. This is how he behaves. Reject. But if we cultivate this idea that Krishna is my true friend, yes, these are all sadhaks and They are trying their best, and sometimes they will behave like a good devotee, but sometimes their underbelly will be exposed. All of us have the good dog and the bad dog. All of us have good divine qualities, demoniac qualities. All of us are under the mode. Sometimes mode of passion, mode of ignorance will show its effect. We become more forgiving when we have this understanding that Krishna is my true friend. Otherwise, it is very difficult to forgive relatives and friends. If we think they are my true friends, then we expect unconditional love from them, which they are not able to give. Nobody can give unconditional love. Nobody. They may be able to give apparently for some time, but a time will come in life where they will disappoint us. But if we develop this mentality that Krishna is my true friend, other than Radha Krishna, I don't have anybody. Other than my Mahaprabhu, my Gauranga Mahaprabhu, my Nityananda Prabhu, I don't have anybody. Prabhupada will never disappoint us. Our acharyas will never disappoint us. And therefore, we have to cultivate sambandha with them. That is our vertical connection. Horizontal connections are there, but horizontal connections will keep us horizontal. We have to go up. And vertical connection is coming from there, not from the Baddha Jivas. Therefore, I like one quotation of His Grace Mahatma Prabhu very much. I heard it many years ago, maybe 2013 or 12. I loved it so much, I've kept it in my heart. The jewel from His Grace Mahatma Prabhu. His Grace Mahatma Prabhu says, ISKCON is not a museum of pure devotees. It is a hospital for conditioned souls. If you start thinking, Ādi Gadādhara Prabhu, he's giving classes every day, he's chanting, pure devotee, Shiksha Guru, mentor, this, that, you will only be disappointed. I can give you in writing. I'm saying it, 100% you will be disappointed. Because I know how much anartha I have. I don't show it because some people may feel very disappointed. But it is a truth. I'm struggling. ISKCON is not a museum of pure devotees. ये कथा कर रहे pure devotee. He is a counselor, pure devotee. He is my Shiksha Guru, pure devotee. He is my this, pure devotee. It's कोई museum नहीं है of pure devotees. It is a hospital for conditioned souls. Are there pure devotees in ISKCON? Of course. Yes. And they are the Guru Varga. They are the Guru Varga. They are pure devotees. They will not, we can put our faith. They will not disappoint us. They are Prabhupada Anuga. They are true followers of Srila Prabhupada. But then how many are there in the Guru Varga? You can count them on the fingertips. Very few devotees. Because pure devotional service is very rare. Srila Rupa Goswami says in Nectar of Devotion. Sudurlabha. It's very rare. So we should have this understanding that Krishna, the Guru Parampara, Guru Varga, and Krishna, they are my true friends. And others, they are nice devotees. I respect them. I'm there to encourage them. They are there to encourage me. We are friends. We have loving exchanges. But we understand that all love is coming from Radha and Krishna. All empowerment is coming from them. To the degree we are surrendered, to that degree we will be pure. And all of us may not be fully surrendered. So occasionally there will be some misbehavior, there will be some disappointment, and we become more forgiving if our primary bond, vertical bond is strong. If we are like this, horizontally bound instead of this hanging, if we are like this, then when these horizontal bonds shake, bloop, we fall. We have to cultivate the vertical relationship. Horizontal relationship is also very strong, very important. But these relationships are dependent on those relationships. So Krishna. Ama bina bandhu ke ache tomar. Bhakti Thakur has written. Mahaprabhu is asking all of us. Jiva Jago, that song. Ama bina bandhu ke ache tomar. Other than me, who is your bandhu? Krishna is Dinabandhu. Krishna is Jagatpate. He is our ever well-wishing friend. So I hope this helps, Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
And being morose of this material world is also a happiness.
Being morose,
Being not having hope on this material world, not having attachment, seeing this as a shackle, is also a happiness, because that is where we have to go.
yes,
It's
Mataji.
not that.
Otherwise, what will happen? Tomorrow, a colleague will say, "Kya, you're wasting your life, yaar. Come, let's go for a cricket game. यार, मजा आता है उधर." They will spend 5,000 rupees to purchase a cricket match ticket. And we think, I'm missing out here. But we should have this conviction. We should have faith in Krishna. That real Anand is with Krishna. He is Satchid Anand Vigraha. And there is no Anand in this world. If Krishna, the maker, is saying this is Dukkhalaya Shashvatam, not once, twice, Mataji. Anityam Asukham Lokam Imam Prapya Bhajaswamam. He calls Asukham Lokam. We should have faith in Krishna's words. And then when materialistic people will come to distract us, we will not take their words seriously. So yes, we should really lose faith in any real happiness in this material world. It is not possible. At the same time, that is anartha nivritti, giving up anartha, giving up unwanted things. At the same time, we have to do artha pravritti. We have to positively cultivate relationship with Krishna, with Gauranga Mahaprabhu, with acharyas. That we have to cultivate through devotional service. Talking to our deities. Once I have told a story, there was a young Vaishnavi who underwent a divorce, and she was maybe in her late 30s or early 40s, and she was having like a midlife crisis of sorts. So she went to meet Aindra Prabhu, and she said, Prabhuji, if you have some nice brahmachari, let me know. I'm looking for a boy. I want to get married. Why? What happened? Oh, I had a divorce and I'm lonely. I want to I want to get married. So Aindra Prabhu said, why you want to get married? She said, Prabhuji, there is so much loneliness in being alone. Shivadandra Prabhu said, don't you have deities? She said, yes, I do. Who do you have? She said, Gaur Nitai. And Andhra Prabhu said, then how are you lonely? Talk to them, embrace them, share your problems with them, develop a relationship, sambandha with them. How can you say you're alone? So like that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anartha nivritti and artha pravritti. More important is artha pravritti. If we do artha pravritti, then anartha nivritti will happen automatically. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinam raso varjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Raso varjam will happen when param drishtva nivartate. We'll give up the lower test when we have the higher test. Anartha nivritti will happen when there is artha pravritti. Okay?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Okay,
Hare
so
Krishna.
we'll stop here. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur. Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,